The stars stretched endlessly across the void, distant and cold, yet somehow alive with the shimmer of ancient light. Captain Ryland stood at the bridge of the horizon's edge, staring at the shadow that moved against the blackness of deep space. It was unlike anything he had ever seen. The ship's sensors flickered and hummed, unable to fully define its shape or origin. Only its presence was certain, and it carried an aura of quiet menace that made the crew tense in ways they could not articulate. "Commander, readings are inconsistent," Ryland said, voice steady but tight. "It's like it's hiding in plain sight." Lieutenant Mara, the ship's second-in-command, scanned the holographic displays. "It's massive, but the energy signature? It's fragmented, almost as if it's slipping through dimensions while moving." Ryland's jaw tightened. Humans had always been explorers, reaching for what was unknown, but this was something else. Something older and smarter than they expected. The bridge fell silent as the shadow shifted.
Ouch.
Then, without warning, it accelerated toward them with a speed no human ship had ever achieved. The horizon's edge lurched as if reality itself had twisted. Alarms blared. "Evasive maneuvers, full thrusters," Ryland ordered, gripping the console. The ship shuddered. Mara's hands flew over the controls, trying to anticipate the shadow's next move. Every sensor, every prediction failed. Yet amidst the chaos, Ryland felt a spark of clarity. Humans had survived impossible odds before. Survival meant not only strength, but ingenuity. "Divert power to the ion disruptors," he said, a plan forming in his mind. "If we can disrupt its energy field, we might force it to reveal its structure." The crew moved with practiced precision, but the shadow ship seemed always one step ahead. It was a predator in space, a thing that had waited for the right moment to test them. Ryland thought of the stories told in the early colonies. Humans had been underestimated for centuries, considered fragile and slow. Yet here they were, facing a threat that mocked every measure of conventional logic. And they refused to bow. Mara's voice cut through his thoughts. "Captain, it's aligning for an attack vector." Ryland nodded. "Steady. Wait for my signal." The shadow ship fired first. A beam of dark energy struck the hull of the horizon's edge, and the impact resonated through the crew. Panels sparked, and the lights flickered. The ship groaned, but it held. Now, Ryland shouted, the ion disruptors unleashed a pulse, bright and white, cutting across the black void. The shadow ship wavered. Its form rippled, and for a fraction of a second, the crew could see it not a monster, not a machine, but something both. Towers of strange alloys rose and twisted, and faint symbols flickered across its surface. It was alive in a way humans could barely comprehend. "It's reacting," Mara whispered, awe mixing with fear. Ryland's eyes burned with determination. "Hold steady. We're going to make it fight us on our terms." The horizon's edge spun, weaving through the void, dodging attacks, and striking when it could. Humans were not the fastest in the galaxy, but they were adaptable. Every movement of the shadow ship revealed patterns. Every attack gave away its weaknesses. Hours passed, though it felt like minutes. The bridge was tense. Every crew member locked on their task. Yet something shifted. The shadow ship hesitated, just slightly, revealing a core of glowing energy at its center. A heart, perhaps, or a command nexus. "Target that core," Ryland ordered. "Prepare the plasma cannons." Mara hesitated for a second. "Captain, the energy fluctuations are massive. One wrong shot, and it could tear the ship apart." Ryland looked at her. "We've faced worse." "Remember what we're fighting for?" The crew nodded. Humans did not fight for glory alone. They fought for survival. For home, for each other. The horizon's edge surged forward. Plasma beams streaking through the void, converging on the core. The shadow ship twisted and flailed, but it was slowing, disoriented. Humans adapted faster than it anticipated. Then the core flared. The shadow ship screamed in a language that was not sound but energy, a cry that rattled the human senses. A final pulse of light, and the creature of metal and shadow imploded inward, leaving only a drifting wreck in the blackness. The bridge was silent. The stars returned to their calm shimmer, and the void felt less oppressive. Rylan exhaled, leaning against the console. Is it over? Mara shook her head slowly. For now, but it knew us. It learned from us. Rylan's gaze returned to the drifting wreck. Humans had won, but the victory was a reminder. The galaxy was larger and stranger than any of them had imagined. And humans, small and fragile, were not at the top. But perhaps with courage, ingenuity, and persistence, they could carve a place among the stars. A message pinged in the communications console. It was from the outer colonies. Something had been detected beyond the edges of known space. Rylan felt a familiar spark danger, an opportunity intertwined. Plot a course, he said. We head there. Whatever's out there, we face it together. As the horizon's edge jumped to faster than light speed, the crew looked out at the stars. The shadow ship was gone, but its warning lingered. Humanity was not the only life that watched, that tested, that struck from the dark. But they would not cower. They never had. And in the endless black of space, a new chapter was beginning. Rylan stood at the bridge, hands on the rails, feeling the pulse of the ship and the determination of his people. Humans were small, yes, but they carried fire in their veins. And fire, once sparked, could ignite a galaxy. The horizon's edge leaped forward, leaving behind the wreckage and heading toward the unknown. Toward challenges that would test every measure of their courage and ingenuity. Humanity's fight had only just begun, and the shadows of the cosmos would learn that humans never surrendered.